So if you're watching this particular Toycember, then that means I posted a main video for the day that I don't think a lot of people are going to see, so I had to pull out a heavy hitter to make up for it. So let's take a look at Botcon Goldbug from the original Shattered Glass lineup. A holy grail for some people, including very particular friends of mine, but also happens to be an amazing deco of one of my favorite toys out of Cybertron, which means I have to take the Cyber Key off here, and we can take a look at the vehicle mode. It is the Cybertron Hotshot mold done up in black and yellow, and it looks absolutely stunning like this. Here, I need to remove the weapon as well, which pegs into the top, like so we can get a really good look at what we are dealing with. This is what Botcon really kind of excelled at, which was extensive decos. Since they didn't have to worry about what it would cost at a retail shelf or try to fit it into a certain budget or profit margin, they could just throw paint on it left and right. So we got this exceptionally gorgeous paint job. You start off with like the purple Autobot symbol on the hood, and you can see all the lining through the yellow on to trim it to give it a little bit of extra definition and a little bit more character. It is very, very nice looking all the way through. Very extensively painted. Just a little bit of red there just to show you where the Cyber Key goes, because we gotta support the gimmick as well. More yellow down the side, a little bit of silver there in the vents toward the rear fenders. And yeah, painted rims as well. We have those. All of that. It's just like an absolutely lavish paint job. Does a fantastic job of just bringing out a different personality to the toy. I mean, it looks wicked. Like, it looks, you could convince me that, yes, this is an evil car. Just the way it mixes the black and the yellow. And really, because it mixes it the way it does, I'm still getting a bee vibe from it. And I don't mean literal, like the character Bumblebee, but like literal Bumblebee vibes, just from all the alternating black and yellow going through it, especially along the sides. It's an exceptionally nice paint job all the way through. Exceptionally nice figure. Well, in vehicle mode anyway. I need to show you the robot mode to determine the rest of that, right? Alright, so let's go ahead and transform. This is a Cybertron toy, meaning we're not going to have to try too hard on the transformation. Also, I realize my white balance is going nuts here. I do apologize for that. I'm hoping Santa brings me a camera that I can just use as a dedicated review camera from now on, like I used to have, so we don't have to do this anymore. Alright. Extend the legs. Flip out the feet. You can tell it's an older toy because we don't do leg extensions like that anymore. Oh, go ahead and make sure that is lifted up before you bring the arms down like so. Rotate the rear section all the way up. So, very simple, efficient transformation. Like, the Hotshot mold in Cybertron has always had this, like, vaguely G1 simplistic transformation. You know, extend legs, arms out the side, front end down the shoulders, spin top around. It does invoke Hot Rod, and it's supposed to invoke Hot Rod, since that's the major influence behind the overall design. But, here, as a very, very menacing version of Goldbug, takes on a very different vibe. And again, we're getting a lot of really, really cool new decos out of it. First off, the head sculpt is unique to the Botcon version. It is replicating the Goldbug version of the head rather than the original Bumblebee. So it has the faceplate. It has the eye visors, so it is very thin in the middle. So you could mistake it for two very big bug eyes. It's the only blue plastic you're going to find anywhere on the figure. Everything else, while there are hits of blue, is still cast either in black, yellow, or translucent blue. The deco on the chest, obviously, exceptionally nice. I love how much detail they went into it. And again, just the way they've, like, painted and framed this, I'm still getting insect a little bit. Like, aren't you getting like pincers of a bug from looking at the yellow on the chest? Maybe is it just me? You got the purple Autobot there, right there on the shoulder. Of course you do. I love how the black and yellow is broken up. Like, normally the black would be like the secondary color, and then the yellow would be the primary. To see it reversed is just like, it brings such a cool pop to it, you know? You get a little bit of blue there painted on the collar, a little bit there on the ribs. The pelvis has a nice hits of yellow, again giving me something more of like a B pattern between yellow and black alternating. Blue for the kneecaps as well, and once again we have that black and yellow alternating for the legs. It is extensively painted. And this is just on top of just the detail itself being nice in general. Like, the sculpted detail of the toy obviously still exists. You got lots of little things, just making the toy extra tech looking. In particular, you do have the traditional hot rod forearm guns sculpted inside the door. Always been a thing on this mold, because again, we are basically looking at a modern take on Hotshot. I didn't show you the gimmick in vehicle mode. Probably should have, but it works the exact same way in the robot mode, and this is kind of the intention behind it. So, cyber key in, makes 2 wings pop out the back. Now, in this version of the toy, the blue plastic loses the illusion a little bit, because in other versions of the toy, this would be yellow, which means it would look a lot more like Hotshot's fins. But here in robot mode, admittedly, it doesn't add a whole lot. In vehicle mode, it's a speed boost, but even then, it's still just 2 little wings popping out the sides of the car. Admittedly, the gimmick has never been great. It is characterful, and with your imagination, yeah, you can use it to imagine them going a lot faster, or using, just general speed boosting, or enhanced control on a racetrack, that kind of thing. But really, it's a pretty minor cyber key gimmick. Though the Goldbug version of the key, pretty cool. The black rim is not something we normally got. The translucent yellow works for me too. Articulation wise, the head is going to rotate around, plenty of range there. You have that hinge at the torso from transformation, and then the forward arm. So he has that weird style of arm articulation that I'm not crazy about, but hey, it's a toy from 2005. I can't really argue it too much. It's working with what it could do. Ball joint at the elbow, so it's got rotation and full bend there. Nothing at the waist. Hips are ball jointed. The shape of it does get hindered, though. That's as far out as it can spread that way, and then you have to go this direction in order to get any farther than that. No thigh rotation, again, early, mid-2000s, and then no ankle rock, mid-2000s. What you end up with is a decently posable 2000s figure. Nothing that broke any boundaries as far as articulation goes, but you can get it into enough poses to be fine. Oh, also, weapon accessory. It's nice and smooth. It's always been a very simple missile firing gimmick. Just this piece itself. Yeah, it makes for a pretty small blaster, admittedly. And honestly, a little bit of a downside, because it's this same dark blue, it basically looks like the same one Excellion comes with the exception of, the yellow trigger being the only real difference there. But that, my friends, is the Cybertron Hotshot version of Shattered Glass Goldbug. You can see the whole reason why... I'll just leave it there. You can see the whole reason why I really loved this mold as Goldbug is because it is such a different vibe and personality. I don't get the same feeling of like, villain I get, looking at the modern Shattered Glass, which is just a Bumblebee repaint, versus this. I'm really hoping Hasbro, now that they have a new Hotshot mold, goes back and redoes this one again, because it's a beautiful figure. And I know a lot of people would be really happy to be able to get it without dropping hundreds of dollars. So, if you're out there, hello bees. Hope you're having a good day. And to everyone else, yeah, this is an absolutely phenomenal figure, deco-wise, but limited by these days' standards, and obviously, because it's Botcon and Shattered Glass, extraordinarily expensive on the aftermarket. I would recommend only to the most diehard of diehard and the wealthiest of wealthy. Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.